welcome back to another episode of Fit Mommy Nation TV. As we celebrate Father's Day in this month of June, I hope to share with you the amazing stories of active daddies in Singapore who embrace the lifestyle of healthy, active fatherhoods. Although moms have a lot on our plates as we wear multiple hats every day, we cannot discount the fact that our other halves have huge roles to play in this parenting journey and nurturing healthy, active families together. And so this month is dedicated to the awesome daddies in Singapore. And today I have the privilege of inviting that Cheekiemonkie daddy on the show. Kelvin is dad to 3 children. In fact, you might have seen him or you're already following him on social, checking out tips on what to do with your kids over the weekend, and getting ideas from him. Other than his work on Cheekiemonkie, he is also council member to the Advisory Council on Community Relations in Defence, which is ACCORD, and he is also on the Families for Life Council. I first got to know Kelvin 6 years back when we were working together with Nutella as advocates for raising active kids. Back then, he was already blogging and sharing about the fun activities he was doing with his kids. And over the years, he has built quite a huge following, simply earnestly sharing tips on where to go and what to do with kids. You can say that his work is a lifesaver for parents, especially on days when we are really short of ideas on how to keep our kids engaged. So the next time you want to bring your kids on a trip to anywhere in the region or even to places like Hokkaido, take a look at his recommendation first before you plan your itinerary. Or you can simply get your hands on his book, Got Kids Go Where? And start exploring some ideas and activities from him. Okay, I will not go on and on about him now. Let's get right into the chat with Kelvin because I want to ask him if his kids are always so happy and easy as they seem on Instagram. Hello, Kelvin. Thank you for spending taking time off your busy schedule with so many kids at home and everybody on full HBL right now and coming on to chit chat with us.
Thanks, Karin, for having me on this not exactly sofa chit chat, right? We're on our own chairs at home. Yeah. So anyway, I'm Kelvin. I'm the founder of Cheekiemonkies, which is a parenting blog. Actually, it started off 16 years ago when my eldest was born. So it was just a way, because back then, blog was just blog, right? There's no Facebook, no WhatsApp, no Instagram. So blog was the rage, and it was a means of just sharing pictures, with the world, basically. Yeah. So I started then, and I think over the years, it sort of evolved into something where, because I shared on where I bring my kids to in Singapore or the activities that I do with them. Yeah, so I think it sort of evolved into that, and parents, I think, come to my site for inspiration and ideas.
Yeah, do you know, I think there's a high percentage, you have a high percentage of auntie followers, huh?
Really, yeah. Don't say auntie lah, later offend them.
Auntie, my age one, all the mamas and aunties all following him.
Okay.
Yeah, but what were you doing before you actually so I guess right now it's pretty much full-time Cheekiemonkie daddy work, right? So before you actually went full-time into doing everything about Cheekiemonkie, what were you doing before that?
Actually, now Cheekiemonkie is still considered a hobby. It's not my full-time work.
Huh, really? Oh my God, you are so misleading.
I have a day job actually. I'm in insurance. I'm in the insurance industry. So coming to 22 years already actually.
Wow.
So that's my day job. So this Cheekiemonkie is I moonlight at the sideline.
Don't say moonlight. Yeah. It's multitasking, man. A lot of jobs, a lot of work that's required.
Yeah, it is but it's still fun. I'm still not sick of it, so that's why I'm still continuing with it.
Cheekiemonkie, you said it started off as a blog. So at that time, I know we were at WordPress and all that, and we're just writing, right? Or sometimes, I think last time we started with Blogspot.
Yeah, Blogspot.
Right. So, and then things obviously have evolved over 16 years, right? So when did it start getting more traction, or that there's a lot more activities involved with Cheekiemonkie? after like maybe your
Actually,
third kid or something?
good question. I can't really pinpoint the exact time where it started gaining traction, I guess. But I think definitely after my third kid, lah. Then it was, I would perhaps maybe about 7 years or 8 years ago. I think when it started, I think that's when the time when I think brands are sort of shifting to try out online engagement as
Right,
compared
right,
to the
right.
usual mainstream media, the newspapers or the radio ads. Yeah, so that maybe they're shifting towards they're trying something new. So I think that's where they're looking at bloggers. Back in those days, there wasn't the term influencers yet, lah. It's just bloggers.
Yeah. It's bloggers,
Yeah,
right?
so I think that was when, yeah. So it was just but at the time it wasn't exactly paid. There wasn't much advertorial money. There wasn't any much money involved. It was just mainly products. They seed you the products and in exchange for reviews on the blog. Yeah, that's what I think. This was a start, and I think from then to now, obviously the whole online world has shifted and changed lah, with many influencers coming on board right now.
I think and especially I just find it very interesting because actually all this while I know Kelvin as the Papa Bear Kelvin, and then like since the days when actually I first started knowing him because we were involved in this gig for Nutella on advocating active families.
That's right.
Right, and
that was a very long time ago, right?
Very long, I think. Yeah, about seven, maybe maybe 6 years ago.
I still remember that. Yeah, I still remember that time you still had to carry your kids, mom.
The twins, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they were still
you
small,
still
like
carry them.
still carry
Yeah.
still carry them in my two
Correct.
arms. Now I cannot already. Yeah.
Now you're the other one.
No matter how hard I train, I just can't leave two together at the same time now. I'll break my back first. Yeah, so then I got to know Kelvin then. And then, at that time for me all along I have been involved in women's work, and then it's always the pregnancy and women's industry, right? And then there's this daddy Kelvin Cheekiemonkie side. Wow, this guy has like so many mommy followers and all that. I just want to ask you, how do you feel like being, I would say rarely, right? There's like really a male figure or like an influencer or blogger who is so involved in like the women's industry. So it's just interesting to know, like, how do you feel at that point in time? Do you feel like out sorts, or like, what, I'm just sharing my thoughts, nothing new or different?
Yeah, actually it's not exactly a female industry, I say, but I think I have more mommy readers is because I think daddies don't like to read. I think that's the difference.
Yes.
Yeah. So usually my base is made up of more mommy readers. Yeah. So a lot of times where a lot of articles is, I think they would just send the link to their husband, say you go read this, got new place open. They send through WhatsApp. So it's usually like that. But I think the first point of contact for a lot of my sharings and articles is mummies. And
yes.
I think the way is good lah. In the way is good because I think, I don't know, because mummies are their, compared to daddies, I think, like, daddies, they're men, and sometimes we don't like to share our feelings, don't like to share things, right? We don't openly want to do that. And sometimes we might be too proud to say, actually, I know this place already. I already know, I don't need to read about it. I mean, it is, I'm not generalizing everybody lah, but I guess that's the typical that, because primarily maybe because we have other things to worry about, other things to take care of. So this kind of things, usually it's the mommy who reads. But but whether is it daddy or mummies, I think obviously I still appreciate all of them. And when I first started, actually, the daddy bloggers, right, actually can count on one hand, seriously.
Yes.
In Singapore, really. But I think now there are more, I won't say bloggers anymore, because the younger ones, they don't exactly have a blog. They are influencers, but they're daddy influencers. So on IG, more on IG, or maybe even on TikTok, these younger daddies who share their daily lives as a parent with their young kids. And I think that's a good sign, because I think I've also I've also that actually experienced that actually felt that actually through the years, compared 16 years ago, I think dads are actually taking a more hands-on approach in the raising their kids and the everyday lives of their kids. And I think that's always a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's very different. I mean, from even from I mean, your generation, your friends of daddies, and then after that, my younger brother's generation, right? And then compared to our parents' generation, I think there's a huge difference and shift in terms of how men are choosing to be involved with raising kids. Yeah, we'll talk, definitely ask you more questions about that later. So just this last question that somebody asked me, say, hey, we saw Kelvin's share about going to the Rainbow Bridge, and then you brought your kids along, and then they're like, hey, we followed his itinerary, we followed his guide, and then she went through it with another friend, and then she said, then as we were walking, we were saying, this Kelvin must be bluffing. You mean his kids are okay going through all this mud and sweat and all that without complaining? Then I'm like, okay, I'll ask him whether they complain or not. Yeah.
Actually, because we have been to some like Clementi for no, not Clementi Forest. We've gone through which one? The Bukit Batok, the Hillside Park, the one where we passed through to find the old park one. And a few others. Actually, during the actual hike itself, they don't complain lah. But before that, they actually do grumble lah. You know,
again,
this Sunday morning, we going for a hike. Then they ask, again, how long? How long will it take? Or what's the distance? They all ask this kind of question first. But you know, I think I think from young, because me and my wife, we have made it a point that every week we would try to take them out at least once. Just that, last time when they were younger, it was obviously not hikes lah. It was outdoor playgrounds. It was just to the normal. Yeah, it was the normal parks lah. The normal parks where there's playgrounds. So, but obviously now they're older, those don't cut it for them anymore. They'll find too childish. Even the normal parks, like normal parks like botanical gardens, they also find it boring because it's like it's
very curated,
just a normal,
really.
Yes, it's a normal concrete pathway that you just walk, and then at that age they don't really appreciate the nature much lah. So that's why that's partly the reason why I try to find new way hiking routes for them
to bring them.
Yeah, correct. So it's because you go through those that's unmarked one, and it's like sort of bashing through is more interesting for them. So I think those are actually, I find that they are more keen to go. And in terms of the mud thing, no, they don't really complain. They just step on it.
Because they have been well trained from young.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of, I think a lot comes from the parents as well. If the parents like step back, then obviously the kids will just pick up whatever signals that the parents send, and then they would accordingly they would
behave accordingly.
Yes, behave them accordingly. That's right.
Yeah.
So I think if the parents are more gung ho or more open to different type of things, then I think it would also encourage the kids to try something new.
When I knew him from the Nutella gig, and then one time we brought the twins to Hokkaido, and then oh my god, we bumped into his whole family. We have never bumped into each other in Singapore. But we bumped into each other at Otaru Canal. Oh my god.
Yeah, that
was classic, man.
Yeah, man, that one is so unexpected.
Yeah, so he's this familiar figure that I knew for a couple of years. And then sometime last year in mid-2020, right, you posted an updated photo of yourself, and then I got stunned like broccoli, Like, hey, what happened to him? Right? So he actually decided to, obviously he shared a little bit on his own Instagram and on his blog as well, what he did during the circuit breaker period, right? So maybe you can share a little bit, what happened? Why did you go from Big Bear Kelvin to like now tall, lanky Kelvin?
Actually, I think it's thanks to COVID lah.
Thanks to COVID.
Frankly,
so there are always many good things that
yeah,
come along with it, right? the bad things, but there
Yeah,
are also good
because
things along with it.
yeah, last year because obviously we were forced to stay at home, right? So nothing to do. Yeah, can't go out. So, but it's actually that is so. I mean, it's started very simple that my wife wanted to just to exercise lah because there's nothing to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she started playing work. I mean, she started working out to YouTube videos, those cardio exercises. Then, but initially I didn't join her lah. So every morning before she start work at 7:30 a.m., she would just on one video and start to do, lay out the mat and start to do. Then I just sit on the sofa behind her and watch her do. And I just scroll on my phone, check Instagram, check Facebook. So it went on for about a week lah, about a week I think. Then after that one day I just see her do every day. She just sweat. Then I think okay lah, maybe I just try lah, because better than just sitting and do nothing. If not, I also feel a bit paiseh also that and because she really never asked me to join in, she just do it lah. And so I decided to join in. Then after the first, second, third, I find okay lah, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, still not too bad. I mean, because since I had nothing to do every morning, because didn't have to send kids to school, right? So I did morning,
yes.
I didn't have to wake up early. So is that time I had this segment of the time where I could just exercise. So after a while, it became a habit lah. It really became a habit. So by the time when the circuit breaker was lifted, then we just continued. We just naturally
Continue
just
the habit, yes.
and continued to now.
The interesting question is, what were the kids' response?
Kids respond.
Yeah. When they started seeing the both of you doing your, I don't know, jumping jacks or whatever, push up and planks, right? Initially, they must have like.
Yeah, I think they will just say, initially they will just say, do they do again? Do exercise again? Because we were doing like 6 days a week lah, but obviously not everyday cardio lah. Some days were just
mix and match,
yeah, mix and match. So, so their reaction was that but I think now they're used to it already. They're used to it, and they just so now by the time when they wake up, they usually will just see us in the midst of exercising already. So I think to them is normal, but I think I shared it on my Instagram as well. I think a lot of times where, sometimes we parents also see them, wow, you're on your phones a whole day, go and exercise a bit lah, go and go outdoors a bit, go and move a bit. But because we were kids that once, right? So when our parents say that, we'll usually just okay, just listen, but we won't do it. We'll just say yes, but you just come out from the other year. But but what I hope to do is it's like planting a seed in their brain lah. It's like to show them that daddy and mommy can actually commit to exercising every day. Yes, and to show them that actually, I was so big size a year ago, but if I can set my mind to do it, you see, this is what I am right now. So I think it is to show them that that it can be done. And hopefully, if next time in future, if let's say they need to lose weight or they need to improve their fitness or whatever, it will just sort of at the back of mind that actually daddy and mommy, they did it before, so, and hopefully they remember the examples.
Sure, your missus didn't start doing that because of the kids, right? I think this part about showing the kids things can be done if you're consistent about it only came at a later part.
Yes.
Right. But at the initial stage, actually for both of you, what was the key motivation in doing this every morning?
I think it was mostly boredom, because we needed to find something to do when we are stuck at home, and because we had to work from home, right? We can't go out, so that forced us to explore new avenues to keep ourselves busy. But actually, because before pre-COVID, I always had the idea that I want to lose weight because I know my weight is ballooning, and I obviously I want to be healthier from the family. But somehow, you think of it, but the inertia and you don't do it because there are so many other things to do, right? Before pre-COVID, obviously traveling is one. Because you're traveling, then you eat, then you where got time to exercise, then you also work, right? Then after work already come back so tired, won't exercise. So I think, but I think it's a matter of just setting some time aside every day. So, and what I realized is that it doesn't have to be 30 minutes. It doesn't have to be 45 minutes. Even 15, 20 minutes is enough, but you just have to do it consistently.
Yes.
And once you build up the momentum, right?
Yes.
Everything will just follow through.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, this is like my mantra now as well. It's impossible to invest 1 hour, 90 minutes, or sometimes 2 hours, like I used to before. Not that I'm telling you I have a lot of time, but then you just don't have the luxury of time to spend like 2 hours trying to shape up your body or like work on your physical well-being. But really, every single day, if you can allocate that 10-15 minutes, it's the consistency and in getting the body to keep moving every day that actually counts more than that 1 hour in the gym. Right. Yeah, some people don't realize that. They think that I have no time to exercise. No, you have 10 minutes, 15 minutes to do something to your butt or to your legs.
That's right.
Right. But they think that if I cannot allocate that 1 hour, I cannot commit to a gym or like some atas workout session, then no, I have no time for exercise. Right. So I think it's time people change their mindset about what movement and health is. So then during this period, were you intentional about food intake as well? Or was it just movement? Or did you think that was it just movement that helped you see that huge loss in weight?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of just movement and just get the heart rate up for a few, for 30 minutes every morning, and just to get that cardio going every day, and it's just it's just that in mind. And then sometimes we like to just interspace it with like I go for hikes with my wife as well, so it's just to keep things a bit more fun, to keep things a bit more varied so that we don't get sick of it.
The canteen uncle during that time where you had to cook for your kids, were both of you like being intentional about your own food intake as well?
For me, I just reduce my carbs lah. So I don't take carbs usually for dinner. So lunch I just have a little bit, and for breakfast I just have either muesli or just oats.
Okay, complex
that was yes, correct. So that was during circuit breaker last year where we were still then, but obviously now is sort of my diet is sort of I won't say back to normal, but I don't have anything that I do not eat, just that I take in smaller portions, that's all.
Right. So yeah, honestly, I would say for you it's a classic example of doing little things that add up to see that big change over a period of time, right? Yeah, I think it's a real classic example.
Yeah, I didn't practice like intermittent fasting, or I didn't do any of that. It's just really just exercise and
little things every day.
And just watching what I eat at least for the initial part where I lost the most weight.
So I guess in terms of tangible outcomes, right? Where the scale where you can actually see the number change or clothes size. Do you have to change your wardrobe?
Yeah, I can wear my kids' clothes now.
Good, I'll save money. Interchange colors.
Yeah, so now I buy for them means I buy for myself. So I can tell my wife, hey, I'm buying for them, not for me.
Very good, right? Yeah, it's awesome. And then you have like more colors to choose from as well, right? And then so these are more like the tangible outcomes. So in terms of intangible outcomes, would you say there's a big change or difference after you got more active in different types of exercises?
Intangible mainly
Like energy levels or mood?
Energy level, yes, definitely lah. I mean, I can really feel it that last time when I was more overweight, I usually at night I'll be very tired. I'll be more tired. I need to go to bed earlier. But now just go to bed slightly a bit later. I still go to bed about I try to go to bed about 10:30. I don't know if that's early or late.
Early!
Early, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Very
It's definitely
good.
earlier, definitely earlier than my kids. Yeah. So
Oh, they
usually
sleep later than you.
yeah, they sleep better than me. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, but I feel that I have more energy right now, and I think obviously more confidence lah. I mean, although even I'm already middle age, yeah, I should, I guess it's the confidence that comes with, like what you said, as intangible lah. It's like because you know that how I portray myself is different really ma, because it's somehow, I mean, even though it's not fat shaming, it's just that because sometimes if you are overweight, obviously you have that self-conscious, 自卑 lah sometimes.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah,
admit
yeah.
I have that also. I
Mm.
mean, it's I think it's not it can't be avoided lah.
Mm.
But because if you start to lose weight, and I wouldn't say you really have to lose weight until you hit your BMI or what, but you just have to lose that, maybe just that 2 or 3 kilos, right? I think internally you can
You feel
internalize
that
that,
confidence, right?
yeah, correct. You feel that confidence that, well,
Mm.
actually, I can lose, because you can lose weight, you see the results. I think that translates to you subconsciously that, how the way
Mm.
you speak, the way you act as well.
I think it stems from the fact it doesn't stem from, like, the numbers, right? Like, how
Correct.
many in the end, 5 kilos or 2 kilos or 10 kilos. It's not that figure. It's about probably that ability to see yourself to, get from here to there and see progress or success in achieving that thing. That naturally just raises the self-esteem and your confidence in yourself that I can put my mind to this, then I can do anything else better. Right. And then I bet, with the new activities as well, and new things that you and your wife are doing or get involved in, I'm sure there are also new social circles, right?
Yes.
Or like new friends you meet, or like, hikers especially.
Yeah, correct. So I mean, yeah. So a new social circle of friends will be definitely hikers lah, because we have because we hike a fair bit. So that's how we get connected with a few other like-minded hikers as well. So one group is they specialize in night hiking. So which was something that me and my wife didn't try before. So I think a few March. Yeah, it was in March that this guy just PM me over IG and asked me whether they want to join in for the night hike. Yeah, so it was very fun. Yeah, we hiked along the rail corridor. So it was pitch dark, no light, because the rail corridor there isn't any light. So we have to bring our own headlights.
Headlamps, yes.
Yeah, so to shine the way through. So it's a different kind of experience because you really cannot see anything in front of you. And the sounds, it's a different kind of sound because there are a lot of sound of the crickets, different other insect sounds. So it's very different. And yeah, so I would say thanks to hiking frequency, right? Then we found we had the chance to try out other new experiences as well.
Yeah, I mean, even for the kids, like whatever you are doing, naturally you expose them to it as well. So then in terms of even this area and this aspect of adventure and activities, they get that same expanded exposure, right? Which is to ask you is, you got to tell us the truth. Are they always so happy and easy?
No, obviously not. Obviously not.
Everywhere they go, the kids also go happily, Yeah.
No, obviously not. The thing is, but I think because I would say they are well trained. They're well trained since young. That obviously they know that I have the blog, I have this portal, and a lot of times when there are engagements,
That involve the kids.
I obviously would tell them beforehand, because I think now is it's very straightforward. When it always comes to Thursday, they will ask, oh, so what are we having on this weekend? Where are we going this weekend? So so it's I think it's naturally drilled to them that they ask first, and then I will tell them, obviously, oh, okay, Saturday we have this, Sunday we have this. So they would know. So and so I tell them beforehand, it's still not so bad because obviously now my two boys, they're teens.
Exactly, I was going to say, the boys
they
are
have their own,
pre-teens. So
they
then
have their own lives, their own friends, right? And there are things that they want to do. So the things that I now accept, also the engagement I accept, is obviously if it's too childish, I also wouldn't accept it, because I think it's a natural progression that I have to showcase activities or things that fit into the interest of my kids, right?
Exactly.
And so a lot of things that I take on, if I think that they will find interesting, then I will accept it, and usually I'm right. that they are still game to try it. So so it's still not so bad. But if there are things that are still childish, if they think it's still childish, then luckily I still have a daughter.
You have the small one to bring to.
Then I still have that one. But that one maybe only at most 2 more years, then also bye-bye already.
Yeah, she will have her own friends, want to do her own things. No, Daddy, we don't want to go to that one. We want to do this at home. They rather stay home now.
Correct. I think it's natural that but it's okay. But as long as, because from young I've been bringing them out, then so they know what to expect. They know the job that I do. Because obviously I have some readers also ask, they know that, there are perks that comes with it, obviously, right? Like staycations that I review, then obviously they stay. So these are perks that come along with it, but they also understand that because of these perks, I have a job to do, and they also have to be cooperative, From young, last time when they were small kids, every time we go to a place and, oh, wait, cannot play yet. You must take picture first. Must take picture.
Cannot chong in yet.
So must take picture, must pose first. So so they understand they understand. But it's part of what I do. And obviously there are pros and cons. Because they get to enjoy this, obviously there's a side that they have to sort of, work for it.
To accommodate and work for it, right?
Yes, that's right.
Correct. Yeah, learning to accommodate. Yeah, I think it's a part of the skill sets that all kids should learn. Correct. Can't be everything just you get it. I get to do it.
Cannot be everything is just free. No free lunch.
For new moms, I'm sure some new moms follow you too. For new moms, postnatal depression, baby blues are very common, especially when they have a second one and then a third one again, right? So I'm not sure if you do remember the period of time when your wife went through, postnatal period, whether she had a difficult time coping emotionally, and then how did both of you cope and get over that period?
But luckily, I don't think my wife suffered. Went through that period of when there was great depression. But obviously, I think as with all new moms, the support from the husband, especially, as well as from the parents, as well as the in-laws, is very critical as well, especially in that time. Because especially for new moms with a first child, again, for dads, for moms, there is no handbook, right? There's no rules. There's no set of rules what to do. So a lot of things is we learn on the job. We learn as every day. Every day there'll be new challenges. So I think I would say the communication between husband and wife is very, very important. And definitely as a dad, I would say you have to accommodate everything that the wife does, but I think it's better to understand her more and try to be there wherever you can. I think that's very important, because when our first two boys were born, right, we didn't have a confinement nanny. I was a confinement nanny.
You was a canteen uncle then.
Yeah. I was
Oh
the
my God.
confinement one. So I cooked the food lah. But actually it's not the very elaborate stuff lah. It's just the normal stuff that yeah, it's yeah, so we didn't have so I think that's a way of showing her that that I support her and but obviously if granted that some dads might not have the luxury of the time to cook for the wife, other ways are obviously possible as well. You just have to maybe set aside or leave work earlier, just to go back at night and take over the caring for the child over from your wife. That's just a good enough gesture already.
Exactly. Wow, so tough. So you yourself and your wife, no other extended help because you
So
didn't hire a
the
family.
first one my mom helped out. Yeah, the first one my mom stayed with us for the first 2 weeks lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then subsequently my second and third one, no, I was the one really.
Now we know. Wow, this one really super daddy leh. This is the confinement penny.
Yeah, penny, daddy, confinement.
As a experienced dad of three, what would you say are the three must-know tips that new dads should know?
So long ago, 3 must-know tips. Okay. Always, I think you must not be afraid to ask for help. I think that's the most important tip. I mean, if there's only one tip that I think it's not don't be afraid to ask for help. And obviously the second one would be I would say that that work or emails can wait. Definitely. On hindsight, I can say that for sure, 100% that it can wait, but your child will not wait for you to grow up, really, because they really grow up very, very fast. Third one is continue to spend one-on-one time with the wife. I think it's important, away from the infant as well. So if possible, try to get somebody just to jaga your kid for 2 hours, even for 2 hours, and then both of you just spend some time together. I think that's very important. Because a lot of times, I mean, looking back, a lot of times when a child is, I mean, when a newborn just comes into
your life, right? Yeah.
A lot of the communication really just revolves around the child, right? It's like, oh, the child today never drink so much milk. Hey, no more diaper already. Go and buy, or today what to cook for him. A lot of times are like that. So, but then I find that a lot of times you don't have one meaningful one-to-one conversation about each other anymore. I think that one has to. I mean, you have to work on that as well, because eventually, if your child, like me now, like if the child now already is a teen, and then the teen gradually will be sort
Move
of
on to young adulthood.
Yeah, you'll be leaving the nest, right? So then you'll be back to both of you again.
Then nothing to talk about anymore.
Yeah. Then we have nothing to talk about because it's like nothing, because the kid is away. Then what do we talk about? There's nothing. So I think it's always good to continuously build on that relationship, so that even that when your kids are old and lead their own lives, right? You both of you are still connected.
Three philosophies that you strongly believe in when it comes to raising kids.
My first one is always been advocating is outdoor play. Because I believe that kids always learn best when they are outdoors. Yeah, when they're outdoors, be it at the playground or at the park or at some of nature. So I always believe in that. That's why I've been bringing them outdoors ever since young. The other is well, I wouldn't say I'm very good at it, but I think I mean, if given a choice, if I could turn back time, obviously I would have done more. But giving kids unstructured playtime, because a lot of times, even when at home you're playing with Lego bricks or cars, sometimes they want to play in a certain manner, but I think,
Then
sometimes
we try
we
to
can't
shift them
help.
to another.
Yes, correct. We can't help but say, no lah, cannot play like that. Then it's so messy, or it's the sort of the wrong way to play. So I'm guilty of that. So if I could turn back time, I would tell myself that I should hold my tongue every time when I want to say that.
Right.
Give kids the opportunity to explore on their own, where they can play in an unstructured manner lah. Yeah. My third philosophy is, obviously, I think, is really spending time with them. Really just because you spending time, no matter how much you think is enough, it will never be enough. Because when the kids are young, that's where they really, really, they are your only friends, really the true friends, because they really look up to you. They want to be like you. They want to do the things that
That
you do.
you do.
Right. Yes, correct. But when they come to teens, you find that no, they have their own friends. Their friends are cooler than you. The things that their friends say are definitely more correct than what the dad or mom say. I mean, that's natural, because I was a teen before, and I understand the mentality. But if you have the foundation built right, because by virtue of spending enough time with them, yeah, you have that foundation on that,
Yeah, the
when
base is covered.
yes, correct, when they are in their teens or even their late teens, they know that they know that they know what how much time or you have invested in them, and they hopefully it will be an anchor for them lah, that to let them know that, wherever where anything goes wrong outside, there's always safe to come back home. I think I think that's the most important thing that me and my wife wants to drill into our kids.
Yeah,
When they
there's
come back
always
home,
home is always the place where you can come back to.
yes.
So then these days, your ventures, right, have led you to discovering like the wild and green side of Singapore. I mean, one hike a week since last year. I bet you must have covered the entire Singapore already, because Singapore is not huge. We all know that. No?
Not I said no. We didn't really go one hike a week lah. Maybe try to have one
Almost,
hike a week, but almost, but obviously can't. But actually, there are still places that I think I still
have
want
not
to
tried,
go explore. Yeah, there are still places,
Mm.
but even some places I've been 2 or 3 times. Even like, for example, Clementi Forest, I've been to 3 times, but each time the experience is different, because the first time I went was in late October last year. Then the second time I went was in February this year. So even though the paths the unmarked trails is still there, but there are different, there are different trees that just fell,
Well,
and then they are blocking the way. So actually the terrain is actually quite different. And then so the sights and sounds are actually very, very different. You every time I go, I experience
a new
something different.
experience.
Yes.
So what would you say, which would you say would be, both of you, your favorite spot or hikes?
Oh, favorite. Right now, favorite would be, I would say, personally, it's the Bukit Brown Cemetery one.
Right.
Which is actually not the cemetery area. It is just beside it, where you see where you go into the heart of the cemetery. There'll be those huge like sort of avatar-like trees. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So that looks very amazing.
Is that also the spot where the boys got lost?
Oh, no. That one is Mary, but that one was totally
near,
not exactly okay lah, opposite. I mean, across Lornie Road, but Mary, but
different spot.
But that part is actually is out of bounds to the public one.
Right.
If you are caught there, then you will be fined $300. Yeah, so that one is out of bounds. You
yeah, I mean, honestly, I also understand. I know there's some parts that's out of bounds to Singapore, to us, and then there are some parts which are just like maybe too wild or not curated, and then they're afraid people will get lost. But there's really no hard and fast rule on like, what is, because sometimes even the out of bound area, if you don't see that marking there or that post there, you won't know it's out of bounds, right? You kind of like just go by it.
Yeah, but most of the more popular entry points where you can actually distinctly see a trail, right? There there usually is a sign. And for those, and because I mean, like the military area, there are also live firing areas as well. So that one
most of the time
along,
out of bounds is because of live firing areas, right?
yes, and
Or
but the military one, you'll find that that tomb, right, is because that whole area is sort of a biodiversity heaven, haven.
Right.
So they don't want people to trample on the vegetation there, because if a lot of human footfall, then it might destroy the area around
the entire area.
Yes, so that's why they because that part is very in deep of the forest. So that's where I think all the animals and they seek refuge lah.
Right.
So they don't want us to kacau them.
Right. Yeah. Side of Singapore, okay, like I've got enough of ECP already. I want to go explore some more like greenery parts. What would be your 5 top tips for her? Like, what do you need to look out for? What can you start with? Right, maybe just 5 that can encourage her to start exploring more. The greener side of Singapore.
I think you have to look for you can start with something that is simple, that is but yet it's rustic. So you can, I mean, obviously an obvious choice would be the rail corridor, right? The rail corridor is rustic enough, but yet it's properly paved most of the ways. So I think that's a good start. So I think once you get the hang of it, then obviously you might want to go for more hikes in future. And I think the second tip is if you can go earlier in the morning, because it really it makes a difference, especially I mean, other than the heat factor. But what I experienced in the early in the morning is that you can hear more birds and you can hear more insects. So it's really, it feels very different. It really feels very different compared to just simply walking in a park.
Yes.
Let's say at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. So if you go early in the morning, then I think you will enjoy it even more. Well, I got five very difficult.
One more, 3. Must either 1 or 3 or 5, right?
I think okay, the third tip is you have to go prepared lah, because I also have a lot of moms who PM me who ask me on to do up a blog post on what to bring for hiking with their kids. Yeah, I haven't gotten down to doing it lah, so I might just say it first. Actually, we say
I transcribe and then you can just use that.
we don't bring a lot of stuff. We don't bring, so the usual stuff we just bring is obviously insect repellent, and hats, and I mean towel, water, as well as obviously a first aid kit lah. So these are the usual stuff that we just put it in our bags as well. So yeah, nothing too bulky, nothing too much. And because if it's a bit to the mummies who is going on your like sort of first hiking trail, right?
Yeah.
Then you obviously you choose something that is not too long. I mean, I think a decent distance would be maybe 2 to 3 km.
2 to 3 kilos, right? Yeah.
2 km is that's doable, because you can do that easily in about 45 minutes. So I think that wouldn't be too taxing, and if you are going to bring along the kids, I think that would also be fun for them now. It's not like over an hour long, so I think it's fine. Okay, then then final tip will be when my kids were younger and we bring them for walks in the parks, we always try to pick up things like either those twigs or the sticks on the floor and use it because I think it takes their mind off the distance, because there's something to do, so they can poke the ground with the stick. So it's something to distract them with. Or if your kids like to take photos, then obviously you give them a camera, digital camera, just to take photos. So I think it makes the journey less unbearable.
Yes, yes. Yeah. I think the digital camera is I think it's an awesome like so-called toy.
Mhm. Right.
Right. Like thank God for digital cameras. Otherwise we have to spend so much on films, right? Because when the twins were smaller, when we brought them overseas also, I just like, that this two old digi cameras, kind of like, those Ixus old ones, just pass to them and then they just shoot. It keeps them entertained and have to keep asking you about what do we do now, what
Yeah,
yeah,
correct,
right.
correct. But now you can buy those very small ones from Shopee, those from China ones. I think it's very cheap, only. I think it's still about $20 or $30 you can get it.
Oh, is it? Okay, I'll go
Uh,
find. Yeah, just snap and whatever, right?
yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, the steps that you just insert a memory card, like just insert memory card, then you can just after
Let
take
them
out memory
save it
card and
out and
just
then they can see their own work, right? Yeah.
yes, correct.
Exactly. I think it's a very good activity. Like, okay, today the theme is flowers. See how many flowers you can take
Yeah.
during this trip. Yeah, exactly. And I guess the biggest thing for mothers when they head out is always about safety, right? If they're really unsure, like really somebody who has never stepped on the trail before, or that kind of thing, really try and go with someone who has been before. Don't try and think that I can see the map and okay, I'll start from here and go. Always better, and especially if you want to bring a kid, better go with someone who has been before. I think safety is paramount. Is you can let your imagination run a while. If you are the Minister of Education, you've taken over Mr. Chan, who has just got on board recently only. There's no limit for you and you have all the resources, right? What would you change or implement in Singapore?
What will I change?
Or
Tangible or
implement, may not want to change, but maybe add on or implement or
tangible
throw
or
into the
intangible?
system. Sorry?
Tangible or intangible?
I don't know, you're the minister.
Or by intangible, I can just say whatever I want.
Minister must have KPI, then must have numbers.
Okay, actually, if I'm minister, then I will make tuition centers illegal.
Wow. Okay, like justify.
Justify.
Justify your point.
Because I find that it is a unnecessary source of stress and competition for both parents and kids. Well, I mean, obviously, some would say it's necessary, lah. But because how about those weaker kids, right? But I think now I would say most tuition centers accept students. It's not weaker students. It's really students who want to
are already there, and then they want to go there.
Yeah, correct. So I think it is. I don't know how many parents are offended by saying this, but to close the tuition centers. But I mean, in place, obviously, I will want to level the field by so no tuition centers. Then instead we'll just have school hours stretched a bit longer. So we stretch school hours longer to possibly maybe about 4, but that time between 1 to 4 is not so much of enrichment, but we
help the weaker students. Or put in the resources, you mean?
Yeah, it can be weaker students, or it can be let students do something else they study. It can be a lot of focus on more on life skills, or basically let the kids I won't say let the kids decide, but you ask the kids okay, maybe one day per week, the kids can plan the curriculum 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. What do you want to do? Obviously, don't say bring iPad to school lah, but it's like okay, we want to go to the nearby park to just play on the playground, play at the playground for 1 hour, let's say. Okay, can. I mean, we let them sort of give them, let them take charge maybe of one day a week to really ask them what they want to do, because a lot of times you tell them study for this or even more lessons or remedial lessons, like when it's like obviously they'll be turned off, right? And they will think that school is they don't want to go to school. I mean, hardly any kids they sort of like school, right? Because there's homework, there's tests, there's exams.
Mm.
So yeah, so I want to see that. Yeah, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome. Yeah, I love it. I mean, when you were saying level the playing field, I mean, I just have to share. You mentioned take away tuition centers. I was a teacher before I left and then started this work. And the thing that I will change or do is take away DSA.
okay.
Yeah, that's the one that's like, because you were mentioning level the playing field, right? DSA would be like, that one's the first one to be thrown out to level even that first layer first before we talk about, like, tuition centers.